How to form an LLC in New York. If you are interested in starting an LLC in the Empire State, you are not alone. New York has the third largest economy in the country and one of the highest rates of newly formed LLCs. Every state has slightly different requirements for forming an LLC. Follow along closely to learn the required steps for creating your own limited liability company in the state of New York. Let's start by looking at the 6 basic requirements to form an LLC in New York on your own. You can also find these steps in more detail on our website, linked in the description below. 1. Name your LLC. Every state has its own rules about what kind of names are allowed for LLCs. In general, you will need to observe these naming guidelines. Your name must include the phrase Limited Liability Company, or one of its abbreviations, LLC or LLC, with a period following each letter. Restricted words such as bank, attorney, law office, etc. may require additional paperwork and may also need a licensed professional to be part of the LLC. Your name cannot include words that could confuse your LLC with a government agency, such as FBI, Treasury, State Department, etc. You cannot use a name that has already been registered. To see if your name is available in your state, you'll need to do a name search. This free service is available on your state's Secretary of State website. Check out our free guide for finding the direct link to your state. We also recommend that you check to see if your business name is available as a web domain. Even if you don't plan to make a business website today, you may want to buy the URL in order to prevent others from acquiring it. 2. Use the default statutory agent. In New York, the Secretary of State acts as the statutory agent for service of process for all New York LLCs by default. In this case, the Secretary of State will forward documents and service of process papers directly to your LLC's principal address. Your registered agent will help remind you to file the necessary reports. Failure to properly maintain your LLC can result in fines and dissolution, so this assistance is valuable. 3. File the Articles of Organization. To register your New York LLC, you'll need to file the Articles of Organization with the State of New York. This can be done online or by mail. You'll need to state whether your LLC will be member-managed or manager-managed. Member-managed means all members of the LLC manage the company. This is good for small organizations where everyone is involved in the day-to-day operations. The second option is manager-managed, where individuals are appointed to manage the LLC. This is appropriate for larger organizations where not everyone is involved in the day-to-day affairs of the business. 4. Publication requirement. New York requires that within 120 days of formation, all LLCs publish a copy of the Articles of Organization or a notice related to the formation of the LLC in 2 newspapers, one weekly and one daily. The newspapers must be approved by the local county clerk of the county you designate in your Articles of Organization. After publication, the printer or publisher of each newspaper will provide you with an affidavit of publication. You must submit your certification of publication along with your affidavits of publication to the New York Department of State, Division of Corporations. After the publishing requirements are met, you can change the location of your principal office to anywhere in New York State. You do not need to publish additional notices. 5. Create an operating agreement. Although not every state requires it, you should always create an operating agreement to establish ownership terms and member roles for your LLC. This foundational document is the core of your LLC and will help you maintain your organization, as well as further establish your LLC as a separate legal entity. There are 6 main sections of an operating agreement. Organization outlines when and where the company was created, who the members are, and how the ownership is structured. Management and voting addresses how the company is managed, as well as how the members vote. Capital contributions covers which members financially support the LLC and how more funds will be raised in the future. Distributions outlines how the company's profits and losses are shared among members. Membership changes describes the process for adding or removing members, as well as if and when members can transfer their ownership shares. And dissolution, which explains the circumstances in which the LLC may be dissolved. An operating agreement is an internal document. It does not need to be filed with the state. However, it should be updated every time there is a change in membership or management at the company. You can download a free sample operating agreement or create a custom one using our free operating agreement tool at howtostartanllc.com. 6. Obtain an EIN. Lastly, you'll need to get an Employer Identification Number, or EIN, from the IRS. Also known as a Federal Tax Identification Number, your EIN is like a social security number for your LLC and is how the IRS tracks your business for tax purposes. An EIN is also necessary to open a business banking account and legally hire employees. EINs are free of charge and can be obtained from the IRS online or through the mail. And with that, you'll have formed a New York LLC on your own. Keep in mind, however, that New York's newspaper publication requirements can cost $1,500 or more if your LLC's principal address is in New York City. To reduce publication costs, entrepreneurs have developed various strategies. A registered agent service located outside the city allows an LLC to use the registered agent's address as the principal address, which greatly reduces the cost of publication. There is also the added benefit of privacy. New York's LLC publication requirements mandate that your principal LLC address be publicly shared. Hiring a professional registered agent service will allow you to use their address instead of yours, which will protect your personal privacy. In addition, a hired registered agent helps with getting your reports filed on time, helps you stay organized by keeping your business mail separate, and is available at all regular business hours to accept official mail and legal papers on your LLC's behalf. Now that you have seen the different requirements and ways you can form an LLC in New York, visit our site and take some time to research your options and establish a solid foundation for your business activities. HowToStartAnLLC.com has full details on how to form an LLC in New York and the full publication guidelines. Now you know all the steps to form an LLC in your state. For a more detailed guide, go to HowToStartAnLLC.com. You can also create an operating agreement and use our business plan tool free of charge. Give the video a like if you found it useful, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And if you have questions or encounter any roadblocks, leave a comment below. Good luck in starting your small business.